Welcome to episode 52 of the Backlot 605 podcast. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Casey Kelderman.
I'm Brian Bensing.
And here we are, Brian, on our 1 year anniversary.
Almost, sorta, kinda.
We're at 52. There's 52 weeks in a year.
Which means 53 would be our anniversary. Get your math right.
Close enough. We are right in the middle of what would be our anniversary.
We are in the midst of it.
Yes. We'll celebrate it for as long as we want. It's our show. We can do whatever we want.
Can we celebrate for a year?
Yeah, why not? Until we get to 2 years.
We need beer.
We do. We haven't done that in a while. Maybe that's a good thing, because I think our quality of our shows have gotten better.
You make it sound like we got fucking drunk.
Well, there might have been 1 or 2 episodes, but...
For you, maybe.
For me, maybe. Yeah, Brian, do you want to go ahead and introduce our guest for our 1 year anniversary?
Yes, we got my buddy Tyler on, who's a fan of the show, and figured, hey, why not bring on a fan and see, the insides of the wonderful studio that you have here and be a part of the show.
Yeah, the fancy Backlot studio. So, Tyler, how you doing?
Not doing too bad.
Yeah?
This mic might be fun, though.
Try to eat the mic.
You're going to have to eat the mic.
All right.
There you go.
That's better.
He's already good in my eyes because he has a Digimon shirt on, and that's good to
And
me.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah, are you
the
not getting
cross?
the reference?
No, I got the reference, but it was more like, well, you see Jurassic Park shirts everywhere. No one ever wears a Digimon shirt, Brian.
Because nobody cares.
I do.
Fighting words. Fighting words. Digimon over Pokemon. Yeah. So what are we gonna do on this episode, Brian? We had to change a little things up from what we said we were gonna do, which is okay. It happens. We've done that a couple times. Our guest for this week was going to be Brandon Lunsman. He had something come up, which completely
things
understand.
happen.
Yeah. And we were gonna do Schmuck's Choice. We might throw a few more of those in at the end. We'll see what we have, but we're gonna kind of just celebrate 1 year. We'll talk about the box office. We do have quite a bit of news to talk about, but yeah, we'll talk about the show and where we want it to go and where it's been and
What are we doing?
yeah, what the hell we're doing.
What are we doing?
I don't know what we're doing. Let's get this back on the right track then. The box office, let's kick it off with that. Number 1 this week, a disappointing opening weekend for Terminator Dark Fate, $29 million.
I'd laugh because it takes in first place and you use the words disappointing box office open.
Yeah, I mean, $29 million is not a lot for a Terminator movie.
It's not Joker money?
It's not Joker money, which Joker is still sticking around here in its 5th week out. And yeah, I don't know. What do you think it is for Terminator? Do you think it's franchise fatigue, that they've been burned too many times before?
I think that's part of it, honestly, is that they're afraid of going back to another bad movie.
Yeah, I think it's...
Even though it's getting relatively good reviews.
I think it got good reviews for that one secret screening because no one was expecting to walk into Terminator Dark Fate. I think the reviews have started to slowly dive back down. But yeah, I think they tried it. They tried everything they could with this, and maybe this is the end of Terminator.
It will not be the end. Paramount will not let that happen.
They will reboot it, I think, is the next step.
They've
That's
already
the beauty
done
of
that.
Terminator. You don't have to reboot it.
Well,
You just keep doing it again.
But the timeline's already screwed, I guess.
I was screwed a long time ago.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't mind if they did another Terminator reboot and do something completely different, get away from the Connors and Arnold Schwarzenegger, do something different with the ideas and themes of the movie. But yeah, Terminator Dark Fate, number 1, $29 million. Number 2 this week, The Joker, sticking around at that number 2 spot, $13.9 million, bringing its total domestic gross $299 million.
Now, you referenced the fact that this is in its 5th week. Now that you finally got your ass to Joker, what did you think?
Yeah, I finally got to watch it. It's really, really good. Joaquin is killer. He is, I don't want to compare him to any other Joker because his Joker is something completely different that we haven't seen before. And the biggest thing I give it, and I said it a couple times through our group chats and to you, I said this is the scariest movie of the year.
And why do you deem it scary?
It's legitimately terrifying because this could happen.
You are correct.
I felt like that could happen. Like, sure, it's a little outlandish, the guy dressing up in makeup and wearing a really cool suit, but that could happen, and that's scary. Yeah, the third act is it is one of the most tense third acts I've seen in a very long time. I don't want to spoil it, but it involves a talk show.
Well,
and I think that is just one of the most tense scenes put to film this year.
well, and Tyler and I have talked about this here too. Is once you get into that third act, you have a lot to speculate what is real and what is not. Do you see that what we got on the screen is all in his head, or it actually happened?
I don't know, and that's the beauty of it. And I think that's one of the best things about it, because one of the biggest complaints, at least for this movie, was Joker doesn't need an origin story. Technically, by the end of this movie, you don't know if this is an origin story or not, and I think that works perfectly for the character. The only knock I give it is that it's straight up a Taxi Driver reboot. It's the same movie with like the same shots, and it's kind of scary that it's the same movie.
Well, Todd Phillips had to get something out of Scorsese.
Yeah, he kind of just stole his movie, but yeah. But it's the way I compare it is that we're in a state of movies in general where a movie like Taxi Driver can only get made and seen in the theaters if it involves a comic book character.
Nowadays, you're probably right.
Yeah, and I think if that's what we have to do, we have to throw the name Joker and a few references here and there to DC stuff to get a Taxi Driver style movie, then go for it. So I was messaging a buddy of mine, and he had seen it opening weekend. He's like, text me as soon as you watch it. Well, a month later, I finally watched it. And we asked each other, well, what other characters would we like to see go this route? Not necessarily hard R-rated movie, but a character-driven story where it's taken seriously everything they do, and it's just focus on that singular character. What would you guys like to see?
Reboot Aquaman? No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
But that was one of them that was actually kind of okay.
Right. I don't know.
you don't know?
Because they tried to make the gritty new Superman, which...
And it doesn't have to be DC. I'm throwing it out to any comic book character. Mine was Doc Ock. I think that would be super fascinating, where you go straight up, it's Otto Octavius, and you follow him throughout the movie. Don't even have to have Spider-Man in it.
You have this weird thing for Doc Ock.
He is a really cool villain.
What do you think?
He is.
I'd like to see a proper Venom movie. Does that count?
That extremely counts.
Third time may be the charm. Who knows? Yeah, I think Venom would be cool.
Bring on Woody Harrelson.
I mean, if they... Okay, so Carnage would also be really cool if they did it that way and not connect it to the Sony Venom-verse, whatever you want to call it. But that's not going to happen. Yeah, I don't know. Brian, do you have a pick?
I can't think of one, to be honest, at least off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, there's some of those that they're so fantastical that it's hard to picture them in a real-world environment.
Just do Doctor Doom.
And there was talk about doing a Doctor Doom movie for a
That way you
while.
don't have to tie the Fantastic Four to it and have a fourth bad movie.
Well, yeah, that's just it. I mean, I'm just picturing, the real-world Doctor Doom walk around prancing in his, metal mask and green hood. It just...
Yeah, I don't see an issue.
It's a dude that owns a country, though. That's what you focus on. This guy looks like a clown. He's wearing a clown costume, Brian.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, a Doctor Doom movie would be pretty cool. If you go like straight up like Game of Thrones, like political type of movie, like with him owning a country, yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I have one other thing on Joker. It's the only time I've been to a quote unquote Batman movie where I'm like, I need Batman. But by the end, I'm glad they didn't put it in the movie. But by the end, I'm like, God, I need Batman to come and save the day. Like I just felt like it brought me back to being a child almost. In that I just felt like I needed Batman to come in and save us.
Well, maybe,
and I think that's a good thing.
And maybe we will, based on what Joaquin Phoenix has said in regards to his character here.
Yeah,
this is the first time he's ever said that I want to do a sequel.
If they do, I kind of want them to connect it to the Matt Reeves Batman movie. If the timelines would work out pretty much, exactly where they need to, because this movie takes place in the 70s. The Batman movies is rumored to be in the 90s.
I guess we'll see.
So, we'll see. Let's finish the box office here really quick. Number 3, Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, $12.1 million. Number 4, Harriet, $12 million. That is the big surprise, I think, for positives for the box office for the week. Only opening here in 2,000 theaters and still pulling in that number 4 spot, $12 million. I didn't even know this movie was coming out.
I don't know.
I don't know if we got it in Sioux Falls either. So, yeah, I mean, that's a welcome surprise to see a smaller film in there. And then number 5, The Addams Family animated film, $8.4 million.
Why are people still going to this movie?
Because there's nothing else for kids to see. Would you rather have your kids watch Maleficent or Addams Family?
Is this a trick question?
Yes, it is, Brian. All right, so that's the box office for the week. Let's jump to the news. First piece of news here. Let's just get this one out of the way. This is the first trailer for the Grudge remake of the remake.
Okay, so I haven't watched the trailer. I have a buddy at work that was commenting about the trailer. I didn't even know John Cho was even supposed to be in this movie.
He's the lead in the movie.
Yeah, again,
I didn't either.
All I knew is that they were making it. But I guess, he was telling me that they had a basically forced shot of the whole hand over the head thing, like from the original. I'm like, are we going to do anything new?
Yeah, this doesn't look very good. It looks like typical jump scare horror movie with
John Cho.
With John Cho, which is like the one reason I want to go see this. Because I'm like, yeah, I want to see him in the lead in a horror movie. That'd be pretty cool.
Who was the original? Sarah Michelle? No, who the hell was in the original?
Yeah, it was in the US
version.
Yes,
yes,
in the original
the
remake.
One's Korean.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was like. The original remake.
Yeah.
Let's put it this way. I couldn't even remember. That's how much I remember this movie.
Yeah. Yeah. It comes out in January too. We're getting a first trailer here in November. That's usually not a good sign.
Because putting a horror movie in January seems like a good idea.
It's always a good idea, Brian. Every year.
Yeah, you said that about Escape Room.
Exactly. Yeah, this movie doesn't look very good. It has veteran horror actors in it. Like, I'm glad John Cho is in it. Relatively new to this genre. Lynn Shay is in it, who was in the Insidious movies. She was in the terrible Ouija movie. So at least she's a welcome addition to be in this movie. She just shows her mouth like open wide a couple times and goo coming out of it. I'm like, okay.
For you, you're like, oh, that's nothing.
Yeah. One of the big marketing things throughout the trailer was Sam Raimi's name is attached to it, but it is as a producer of Don't Breathe and the remake of Evil Dead. I'm like, do people just not know who Sam Raimi is anymore?
No, I don't. I think those that are familiar with Raimi know his filmography. Outside of that, no, I don't think they do. Like, they were like, who's Darkman?
Who's Evil Dead?
Exactly.
Yeah, people need to watch older movies. There were movies made before 2004. Yeah, I will not be rushing out to the theater to watch this.
Poor you.
Did you watch the trailer?
I didn't watch the trailer yet. I didn't have the ambition to.
You don't need to.
Yeah, it's like, I saw The Grudge when it came out last time. Didn't want to see it in theaters then. Probably don't want to now.
All right, next piece of news here. A little bit of Star Wars news. I don't know these guys' first names. I just wrote their last names. Benioff and Weiss have exited their Star Wars trilogy. The writers of Game of Thrones have left. That means the Game of Thrones part means nothing to me because I never watched it. But it just means that we are no longer getting a new Star Wars trilogy from these two guys, though.
No, but it means you're still getting your Rian Johnson trilogy.
I don't think that's happening.
I
think it'll eventually
until we see the words exit Star Wars trilogy.
Well, they can't drop it all in 1 week, Brian.
You never know.
They'll wait till after the next movie comes out and be like, yeah, we're not going to do that either.
You don't know.
I don't, but
maybe he'll make some. His trilogy will be for Disney Plus.
Yeah, that's where I think a lot of the Star Wars stuff's going to start going. Unfortunately,
especially depending on how The Mandalorian does.
Which I think is a big selling point for Disney Plus right now, is that the fact that that's on the service as soon as you get it.
Mm-hmm. Well, the first episode anyway.
Yeah, but that's something you'll be able to watch every single week on that service. And I don't know. I don't know if you guys have ever watched Game of Thrones or what these names mean to you. I know a lot of Game of Thrones fans are like, "Yay, these guys left. They are the worst writers ever."
If I remember correctly, and being this is the person who's not watched more than 2 episodes of Game of Thrones, aren't these the guys that helped finish off the series where people were pissed off at the last season.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
These guys.
Like the season started out really, like from a lot of the reviews and everything, it sounded like it started out strong and then it just completely went off the cliff. We're done.
And apparently, the rumor was that that Game of Thrones went off the cliff because they were focused on Star Wars, and now Star Wars isn't happening.
Oops,
these poor guys.
There goes their name into history.
I also I think they're doing something with Netflix too.
Yeah, I think that's what a bigger thing was.
Yeah.
They got a big multi-million-dollar, multi-movie thing with Netflix coming up.
Which, I mean, if you're gonna, I don't know.
If you're gonna get dumped by Disney, at least be picked up by Netflix.
I think I'd rather be picked up by Netflix because they seem more inclined to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Disney's like, no, putting a chokehold on you. We better make this movie how we want it.
Unless it's MCU, and then they just let Feige run everything.
Well, there's still a chokehold, a
Yeah.
Feige chokehold, which is a little looser grip.
Drastically looser.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have much else to say because I don't know these guys' work, so it doesn't bother me either way. The only part that sucks is that we're not getting a new Star Wars trilogy.
That you'll get less Star Wars, and that makes you sad.
That makes me sad. Next piece of news: we are though getting Into the Spider-Verse sequel, which is scheduled for April 8, 2022.
Because you know that Pascal was not going to not have this happen after the success of the first one.
And I'm all for it. This is the Spider-Man universe Sony needs. Not the Venom one. This one.
I really hope they don't destroy that Venom one, but it's not sounding like that's going to happen. It's going to be...
Well, at least we got Andy Serkis for the Venom 2. I mean, we've got some hopes and dreams.
Yeah, but Venom 1 happened.
It could have been worse.
Yeah, it could have been worse.
I don't know much worse than that.
It could have been Spider-Man 3.
Redubbed over Symbiote.
It could have... No, Spider-Man 3 is way better than Venom. Don't say that. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse...
The look on Tyler's face disagrees with you.
I might have to fight you on that one.
I will fight tooth and nail for Spider-Man 3, but that's a different conversation.
Yes, it is.
What do you guys think of this Spider-Verse sequel happening? Do you
I might actually see this one in the theaters.
I'm actually excited for it. Into the Spider-Verse is very well done.
Yeah, it's the best comic book movie of all time.
Pretty damn close.
It's definitely
according to our live podcast, Brian is the best comic book movie of all time.
I wasn't there.
You weren't there. You probably would have.
I was gone. I was sleeping.
You probably would have gone Spider-Verse though.
Probably. What was up against?
Everything else. And the final two were Spider-Verse and The Dark Knight.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Yeah, that got kind of intense listening to that at work.
Right. There were gonna be fists thrown across that table. So I'm all for it. I'm excited to see what they do next with Miles Morales. From what it sounds like, it's going to be more of a Miles and Gwen Stacy love story movie.
Uh-oh.
Which they didn't explore it very much in the first one, so at least they're doing something different.
Right.
I mean, if
I'll take it,
and as long as we get Nick Cage back. Spider-Man Noir needs to be back.
Oh, all of them need to come back. Even John Mulaney's Spider-Ham needs to come back.
Yeah, they all should come back. Introduce more Spider-Man. And introduce frickin' Tom Holland's Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield's, Tobey Maguire's. Do them all.
Just throw them all in there.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be great.
Have them all. That can be your after-credit scene where all three are pointing fingers at each other this time.
You!
All right, other Marvel news for the week. Peyton Reed has signed on to direct Ant-Man 3. He is the director of Ant-Man and Ant-Man and the Wasp. And now he's back for Ant-Man 3. It only makes sense.
It absolutely makes sense, which I was reading some stuff here. This would be the first trilogy of movies within the MCU that would all be directed by the same guy.
Poor James Gunn.
No,
his should have come before Ant-Man 3.
Right, as of now he will be, but Gunn will be able to hold that candle as well.
Yeah, so what do you guys think of this?
Oh, give me more Ant-Man. I don't care. Just tell me when I'm going to go to the movie.
Both of them have been great so far. Why not throw a third great movie in?
I'll be negative Nancy. This does nothing for me.
Well, yeah, but you're also not a fan of Ant-Man because you're wrong.
No, Ant-Man is fine. But neither movie is great.
They're not supposed to be.
Well, they should be
They're
great.
greatly positioned in in the phases where they should be.
That exactly. They are because they aren't the over the top movies. They are the
they're
MCU's
pretty over the
equivalent.
top. There's like ant drumming in the second movie.
I don't mean that kind of over the top.
He's been studying the whole time though.
I don't mean like an over the top like Endgame Infinity War kind of.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, the MCU and the Marvel Studios are positioned in a way that they can't have everything just be an over the top comic book movie, and Ant-Man is the equivalent of their heist movie. That
In the first one.
Well,
I think the second one is almost unwatchable after watching everything else in the MCU.
again, you're wrong.
I know, I'm probably in the minority on that one.
The fact that they spend the entire time, basically manhandling an entire skyscraper, I find absolutely amusing.
I wish, though, I think Peyton Reed he did fine with the first two movies. He is going to give them exactly what they want in a third movie. And I think that's what Marvel wants from the Ant-Man series, is exactly what you're going to get from the last two. I would have liked to see, let's let Edgar Wright come back. Let's get a director with a vision like that, because I think the best part of all three of us probably will say what's the best part of Ant-Man is it Luis?
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Michael Pena.
and his recapping of what has happened.
Yeah.
And that needs to be a special feature somewhere, is him going through the MCU.
Have him doing the commentary.
And
Yes.
that's straight up left from Edgar Wright's movie.
Yeah,
I wish there was more of that style.
But at this point, now that we've got Reed as far as we are into the MCU and to his series and whatnot, I still would like to see Edgar Wright's movies at some point here, somehow attached to the MCU, but maybe give him something else. Give him something else that he can bring his spin of his type of movie to.
Yeah, I don't know. I would just like to see him
Peyton Reed's
finally
already
come in.
he's made his stance on what his Ant-Man looks like, and I wouldn't want to deviate from that.
I would, because then we got Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with it. I don't care what you say. There's nothing wrong with Ant-Man.
There's nothing wrong
Dark
with
World
it.
was not exactly a sparkling gem, even though there was one in it.
I like it more than Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Wow.
That's just because I think Paul Rudd's the only good thing in the Ant-Man movies. But let's move on.
Anyway, sorry, keep going.
She's fine. We have I guess this connects also to the MCU, because the Russo brothers are working on a new film called Cherry, starring Tom Holland. We get the first look at the film, and it is Tom Holland looking like a meth head in front of a bank as he's robbing it.
Yes, I legit saw this image, and I love the fact that it's big old, it says Shitty Bank in the background. This caught my eye on Reddit, and I was like, I need to know what this is. The fact they got Tom Holland, the Russos, and it is nothing that I'm used to seeing out of Tom Holland. I'm intrigued by just the premise of this.
Yeah, he plays, if I'm not mistaken, he plays a druggie that is looking to rob banks to either like pay back something or for drug money. It was one or the other. Yeah, this is not Spider-Man.
No.
Which is good. I think he needs to start shedding that skin a little bit and expanding past everybody knowing him as Spider-Man, because I think he can do a lot more than that. I think he's a very capable actor, and having a role that has him as a person addicted to drugs is something completely different that you obviously wouldn't get out of him in the MCU at all.
Well, no, I think this is probably a good time, even though we know we're going to get another Tom Holland Spider-Man. He's going to have to. Now is a good time to start breaking out and let people know, hey, I'm not just the kid that's Spider-Man. He doesn't end up getting himself pigeonholed to the point where he can't get a job.
Yeah, did you find anything about what's the premise of Cherry?
An army medic suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder becomes a serial bank robber after an addiction to drugs puts him in debt. So you're half right.
I was pretty close.
I was like, I'm pretty sure there was something military involved.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know.
I like the idea.
I'm excited to see something different from not only Tom Holland but the Russos as well. Because what else did the Russos have besides the Avengers movies in the last few years? Just that?
Arrested Development.
Well, yeah. I meant to film wise.
I'm pretty sure you're looking at it. So I think pretty much all shorts except for like TV. They went basically from TV.
You, me, and Dupree.
Like I said. But pretty much TV into the MCU.
Yeah, they did some of the best episodes of Community as well, which is fantastic. But yeah, I think this. Yeah, looking at
the Russos are the prime example of just because you did TV doesn't mean you can't make an absolute box office smash and reap the rewards and afterwards do whatever the hell you want.
And I'm glad they're doing whatever the hell they want now. I think that's really cool that they're doing a smaller movie like Cherry. Comes out January 1st, 2020 is what it looks like. I dig the cast though too. We should talk about the rest of the cast.
Because we've got Pennywise.
Yeah, we got Bill Skarsgård, Jack Rayner. I'm assuming this is a Wahlberg of some relation. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure by the looks of it, no.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Because, wow. That's just like, well, because the last name is Johnson, they must all be related, right?
Well, Johnson's a more common name than Wahlberg.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm digging the cast. It's a good young cast inside of this movie. So, yeah, I will. It'll be a movie I'm excited to see. So, yeah, let's jump to our last piece of news that we got here. This one's really weird to me. It is Seth MacFarlane is adapting Clive Barker's Books of Blood into a Hulu film. The set of short stories included in Books of Blood are responsible for the film creations of Candyman and Hellraiser. So Seth MacFarlane of Family Guy and Ted fame is adapting Clive Barker. Okay, I'm in. I think that's really cool.
Go ahead, Tyler.
Especially after seeing what he's done with the Orville too. Like that's actually just a really good, solid series. And it's definitely not what he usually does with something like Family Guy.
Yeah, I'm glad. I think Family Guy, he's kind of just done with that. He'll do the voices. I'm done with everything else. Yeah, I've watched like one episode of The Orville, but from what I've heard from people, it's the best Star Trek series in the last... I mean, it's better than all the Abrams movies from what I've been hearing, as far as like Star Trek goes.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
The other thing is, I immediately looked at this, and it's that we got all these comedy people getting into the horror. Like, Seth MacFarlane's doing Clive Barker. We've got Jordan Peele getting into the horror thriller genres. We've got Danny McBride doing Halloween, that sort of thing. Where Chris Rock doing Saw. It's just like, we've got another comedy guy that wants to get into the dark places. So far, it's worked for them. So I'm curious to see. Hopefully, the Seth MacFarlane isn't the outlier.
Isn't Candyman in it?
No. Again, yeah, Jordan Peele.
Yeah, I think this is really cool. Like, I knew you were going to bring up the Jordan Peele and these comedic actors and creators doing horror. I just never expected Seth MacFarlane to be that guy, though. Like, you can see it in Jordan Peele. He grew up as a horror fan. There's even some horror style sketches in Key and Peele. Danny McBride references horror a couple times in his movies, so you could see. This is just something I think kind of came out of left field for me. I mean, it's really cool to see someone who I think is very talented. Taking out, most people know him from Family Guy. Take out those later seasons because that's not really his anymore. It's just Fox's moneymaker at that point. But I think him as a creator is very interesting, especially adapting Clive Barker material, because that is just really weird, abstract style of horror, especially if we're going to get versions of Candyman or Hellraiser. I think that would be really interesting to see Seth MacFarlane take on that.
It'll be fun to see.
It will. It's going to be a Hulu film, so I don't know if it's going to be, segments, like a anthology type of movie, or if it's going to be just adapting all of them into a single story. Who knows? But yeah, this makes me want to jump back onto the Hulu train and get ready for this movie to come out.
Well, maybe we'll wait until you get closer.
Well, yeah. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I don't know.
All right.
Let's jump to our main topic of the week. Here we are 1 year later, Brian.
Yeah.
We're on our 1 year anniversary.
Ish.
52 episodes, only 51 of them you have heard because we lost one of them. Let's just start right there.
Start right there.
Yeah, let's start
I
with...
thought we were going to quiz this guy over here.
Oh, okay, well, let's quiz him. What happened on episode 10?
You guys talked about some stuff.
Yes, he's right.
Well, he didn't give a wrong answer.
Talking about movies.
You talked about movies.
Well, yeah.
That wasn't where I was going with that, but yeah.
Go ahead. What were you going with?
Giving him some Schmuck's choice and see what his responses are.
Joker versus Dark Knight.
Ooh, there you go.
Oh.
That's the one that was immediately in my head. Brian, do you have one?
God dang. I think I'd have to go with the Dark Knight between them still. Like, Joker's really good and everything, but seeing Batman and Joker interacting through the whole movie...
Dark Knight?
Yeah.
I'm going Dark Knight.
I'm going Dark Knight.
Yeah, I still think it's...
You'll still take that one over the Joker?
Yeah.
I think as a character film, I think the Joker will probably edge out for me. As a Batman film, or as it on its whole, I would probably go with the Dark Knight, because that, with the Joker, with Two-Face, with everything involving with the Gotham and whatnot, as a whole, you would definitely go with the Dark Knight.
Spider-Man 2 versus Spider-Man Far From Home.
God, I knew this was going to be coming, too. That's the worst part.
God.
Mwahaha.
So
Everybody already knows my answer.
if this gives you any context, Spider-Man 2 is his favorite. Far From
Oh,
Home
I'm
is
aware of
his
that.
worst.
It is a lot worse. So yeah, mine's Spider-Man 2. Brian, what about... What
Tell
do you got?
him he's wrong. Far From Home. I will take Far From Home easily. I love Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
There's good parts to both of them,
Well, there's good parts to all
but
of them.
I like that Far From Home gives us the high school Peter Parker, where he's actually, like, in the fights, he's a lot quippier. Like, because he's just nervous during all of his fights, and that's why he does it. You never really see that in Tobey Maguire's.
Again, argument for a different day. We gotta do a frickin' Spider-Man episode
Just
again.
go over the Spider-Man movies.
Again, we already did it once.
already
but
did
now
it once
that I
early
have,
on.
Now that I have hatred in my heart, we need to do it again.
Was Far From Home even announced when we did that episode?
Yeah,
I couldn't remember.
because we did it right after Spider-Verse came out. Yep.
That's right.
Yep. And you hadn't watched.
I hadn't
it
seen
yet.
Spider-Verse yet.
Yeah. We'll do another one.
Um,
I think we want to.
Or Tom Holland.
I need to find someone who loves Andrew Garfield as much as like you guys love Tom Holland or me.
Tobey Maguire.
I don't know. Is there a person out there that loves Andrew Garfield as much as we love those? I don't know if he's out there.
The only reason why they love him more is because they have a love for Andrew Garfield, not as Spider-Man's Andrew Garfield.
Who doesn't?
Well, I mean, they do have Emma Stone in those movies, too.
It is the best love story out of all three
Yeah,
versions.
until he kills her at the end of the second one.
Which is how it happens in the comics, too.
She
It's
was
just
gonna
not in
die
the
either
tower.
way, Brian. He
Everybody
tried.
knew that already.
He tried.
This happened in, like, the 80s.
All right, you going to Far From Home?
With Far From Home, though, with him not being in New York, Case is going to be ecstatic about this.
Yeah.
I'm going with 2.
Damn it!
Aunt May's scene alone wins that movie forever.
Who doesn't like a hot Aunt May, though? Yeah, I know.
Slowly raises his hand.
Again, you're still wrong.
I like my old wrinkly Aunt May.
But Marissa Tomei.
All right, I have a few directors ones. Let's just pick a random one.
We might have to throw some filmography out there for Tyler.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, some of these I might have to kind of...
This one might
I'll
be
figure
this.
it out.
This is a relatively easy one. James Cameron, director of such films as Avatar, Terminator, Terminator 2, or Richard Donner, director of such films as Superman, Superman 2,
Goonies.
Goonies, Lethal Weapon. What are you guys gonna go with here?
Give me Richard Donner, because otherwise I need to keep Goonies. Who cares if James Cameron's made the biggest movies of the entire all-time minus Avengers?
But he's made 2 Terminator movies.
He didn't
Arguably
make.
3.
All right, here I'll give you some more.
He didn't make Goonies.
I'll give you some more Richard
Okay.
Donners. All right, The Omen, Superman, Superman 2,
The toy.
The Toy, The Goonies, Lethal Weapon, Scrooge, Lethal Weapon 2, Lethal Weapon 3. And
The
then
fact
this-
that he made the toy, I'm all in on Richard Donner now.
and then Jimmy Cameron, of course.
Jimmy Cameron.
We're good buddies. I can say that. Piranha 2, which is a lot
Doesn't
of fun.
count.
No, it counts. The Terminator, Aliens, The Abyss, Terminator 2, True Lies, Titanic,
Avatar.
And, of course, Avatar.
Avatar.
Oh, Cameron's got two of my favorite franchises in it. It's Terminator and Alien.
I thought you were going Piranha.
I thought about it for a second. Gotta throw you for a loop.
So you're going with Cameron?
I'm going with Cameron.
Okay. So then, as we do a Schmuck's Choice, I would have the last say in this, I guess.
That's kind of how this works.
Goonies for the win. Even yeah, I had to go Goonies.
And
also,
I can't even be sad about it. That's fine.
yeah,
I cannot live in a world where Goonies does not exist.
You can. You have before.
When?
you weren't very old.
You were very old.
I was alive before Goonies was.
Yeah, so you did live in a world before.
Fuck you.
God damn it!
Yeah, so Richard Donner wins that one. All right, Brian, I'll let you pick one out of there. Don't look at him. Uh-oh.
Judd Apatow.
All right.
Versus Harold Ramis. The look on your face,
man.
Tyler.
New school comedy versus old school comedy. All right. So we got Harold Ramis, Caddyshack Vacation, Groundhog Day, Analyze This, Multiplicity, Analyze That, and of course the classic Year One.
I saw Office episodes on there too.
Yeah, you
TV
did.
not included.
TV not included.
Judd Apatow, The 40-Year-Old Virgin, Knocked Up, Funny People, This Is 40, Trainwreck.
I'm going to go with the old school Ramis.
And this is also only directing. We're not including producing or writing credits.
Yeah, I'm still going to go with Ramis.
Yeah, I gotta go with Ramis.
He
with
gave us
Caddyshack and
Vacation,
everything in there, too.
Caddyshack, exactly.
Yeah.
He didn't give us Steve Carell being stupid and 40-Year-Old Virgin.
The 40-Year-Old Virgin and Knocked Up are fantastic movies, Brian.
They are.
Yeah, but it's Harold Ramis.
Yeah.
I don't think you can go any other way without that. Yeah, I mean, could you imagine a world without Caddyshack or Vacation in it?
No.
That's even more of the stumper. All right, here's a fun one. We got a little bit of a actors turn directors choice here. Ben Affleck versus Kevin Costner.
Ooh. Again, you're kind of going old school versus new school at this point.
Yep. So big Ben Affleck, director of Argo. I'm bad at remembering.
Gone Girl.
He did not direct Gone Girl.
What?
That was David Fincher.
Oh, the shit, you're right. My bad.
Oh, the shit.
My bad.
Gone,
Oh, yeah, The Town.
Gone Baby Gone, The Town, Argo, Live by Night. So that is Ben Affleck's Kevin Costner.
Let's remember that Live by Night was a commercial flop.
Well, so were some of Kevin Costner's movies. Not necessarily directed by him, but he has 3 directing credits to his name: Dances with Wolves, The Postman, and Open Range.
Ooh. How did you even think of Kevin Costner, the fact that he literally has that filmography and hasn't done anything in almost, 20 years?
He's one of the more famous actors turned directors, though.
He also had a band, too. Doesn't mean it was good at it.
Well, we'll do that when we do band Schmuck's Choice. Be his band versus Christopher Lee's band.
Isn't it just always Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch?
Yeah. What are you guys going with here?
I'm probably going to be the outlier here. I'm going to go with Ben Affleck, actually. I'm not losing much by not picking Kevin Costner. Outside of Dances with Wolves is a great movie, but...
And then South Dakota has nothing for film, Brian.
Starship Troopers.
We don't have Dances with Wolves, though.
Yeah, there's signs for that.
I'm also going to go Ben Affleck, though. The Town is fantastic.
Argo is great.
Argo is great.
I loved Argo.
Yeah, I mean, I think... Honestly, I like The Town more than Dances with Wolves, so that's my choice.
Where would you swing, Tyler?
Honestly, I know more of the movies that Affleck has done.
Well, when
Quantity-wise, not percentage-wise.
well, when your options are 3,
Yeah, when I know
when you
a third of them.
Well, I was gonna say when you don't watch one of them, you're already at a 66%.
Yeah.
The fact is that we get to keep Waterworld, and I think that's all that matters.
But he didn't direct. He didn't.
But we get to keep it because he acted in it, Brian.
That doesn't count. That's not how this works.
But we got to keep it anyway.
Yeah, we get to
We
keep it.
were going to keep that monstrosity because it's an actor one
But
anyway.
he has fin feet.
It's Mad Max on water.
Hey, did you know that you can filter your own piss and drink it?
Okay, Bear Grylls.
That's like the one thing about Waterworld I remember. All right. Sylvester Stallone versus Mel Gibson.
All right, boys. This is another actors turned director. So we got Mel Gibson, The Man Without a Face, Braveheart, Apocalypto, The Passion of the Christ, and Hacksaw Ridge. Sylvester Stallone, we get Rocky, we get, no, not Rocky, sorry, Rocky 2, Rocky 3, Staying Alive, Rocky 4, Rocky Balboa, Rambo, and The Expendables.
I just like the fact you're like, oh no, not Rocky, but Rocky 2, Rocky 3, Rocky 4.
So, what do you guys think? This is a very different filmography here between these two, especially for what they have directed. Mel Gibson doing kind of epics style of movies. Sylvester Stallone, mostly Rocky movies. You get the Rambo and Expendables, but Stallone-led films within there. So
I know how I'm going to swing this. Looking at his filmography, with the exception of... no, not even with that exception. No, I would say I'm going to go with Mel Gibson because those movies that Stallone was in still would have been made. You still would have gotten Rocky 2, you still would have gotten Rocky 3, you still would have gotten The Expendables because he still would have championed to have those movies made because of the person he is, whether he was directing them or not.
but would you have the quality of what is Rocky 4 without Stallone directing?
Probably.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I was going to go with Stallone, but yeah, you swayed me. You're right. All these movies still would have been made.
Yes, there's nothing on this list that probably would not have happened anyway, especially when 95% of them are sequels.
Yeah, I think, yeah, you're right. I think that's going to swing me towards Mel Gibson.
Because Braveheart, granted, I've never seen Apocalyptico, but, the same, Hacksaw Ridge, all of those. I mean, there is that possibility. You don't really have anybody other than him probably being the ones that was champion for those.
Yeah. Yeah, I think...
Passion of the Christ, the Resurrection. I can't believe we're making a sequel to that.
Wait, what?
You didn't know about that? The sequel to the Passion of the Christ?
That's not happening, Brian.
Why is that a thing?
There's a sequel to Gladiator, not Passion of the Christ.
If it doesn't come out on Easter, they just
Yeah,
completely ruin
pre-production. This is
everything,
not. This is not coming out. There's no way this is happening. Family Guy already.
updated September 2nd of this year.
Family Guy already made fun of it. It's not happening.
It's
Yeah,
the only movie to ever come out on a Sunday.
Yeah, I'll go. I'll go with Mel Gibson. Tyler.
I'll be the oddball. I'll go with Stallone.
And you still
Stallone.
lose.
That's fine.
Yeah. So I guess Melly Gibson will move on. All right. I already know where Brian's going with this, but we'll still play this one because it is his boy, Robert Zemeckis versus John Landis.
This is a no-brainer for me because if I remove Zemeckis, I lose Back to the Future, and that's not happening.
Exactly. So Robert Zemeckis, the Back to the Future trilogy, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Forrest Gump, Castaway, Polar Express,
Flight was really amazing.
A Christmas Carol, The Walk, which just came out not that long ago, versus John Landis, who I think in his own right has his fair shake of movies. Schlock, which is fantastic. Kentucky Fried Movie, Animal House, Blues Brothers, American Werewolf in London, Trading Places, Twilight Zone, Into the Night, Spies Like Us, Coming to America, Oscar. Yeah, and the list goes on. And the classic Blues Brothers 2000, of course. That was sarcasm. Blues Brothers 2000 is not very good. So yeah, Brian, you're going to Zemeckis?
Duh.
All right, Tyler, what about you?
I think I gotta go with Zemeckis also. There's way too many good movies in that list. And I've actually seen pretty much all of them.
I mean that, but you haven't seen as many John Landis movies. Maybe that has to
Well,
That's
maybe
just
I'm
me.
gonna watch a bunch of them. Maybe I'll change my mind.
That's just me. I would go with John Landis because
He did do Michael Jackson's Thriller.
He did do the Thriller music video.
That doesn't count.
So do we get to keep the Thriller music video?
Well, it's not a movie.
I mean,
It's a short film, but it's not a movie.
Yeah, this hurts. Yeah. So I would have gone John Landis, but I guess Back to the Future moves on. I mean Robert Zemeckis. All right, we got a couple more here we can do. You can read that one.
Tyler Perry versus Tommy Wiseau. What
Lord.
what were you on when you wrote this card? What the hell has Tommy Wiseau got other than The Room?
That's it. That's all he is.
What the hell, dude?
I
I can't believe I'm voting for Tyler Perry just on principle.
Well, Tyler Perry does actually have some really good movies. They're not all Medea.
I don't know. I haven't seen any of them.
I haven't seen any of those. Well, you've seen at least something from Perry.
I've seen Perry in things, but not once he's directed. Like he's in Gone Girl.
Yeah, but he didn't direct.
No,
Gone
I know.
Girl.
I know.
Yes, all the Medea movies are pretty much extinct after this, boys. So,
I still think that's not going to happen.
but if he's not directing it, though, I don't know.
I don't know, but I'm still going Tyler Perry just on principle.
Tommy Wiseau all the way. We can't live without The Room. We can live without the Medea movies.
God damn it!
Hey, and at least if we don't have Tommy Wiseau directing The Room, we would not get The Disaster Artist, which is a fantastic film.
Something good had to come of it, right?
Exactly. I don't
Besides
know
memes.
what good has come from Medea movies.
Jobs.
Yeah.
I guess
Steady employment?
there is. I mean, if we want to go into that factor, I guess Tyler Perry does have his own studio, and everybody has a lot of jobs there now. So, I don't know. Tyler, comes down to you then.
Oh, I just can't get behind The Room. I gotta go with Tyler Perry.
You're tearing me apart, Lisa.
Good.
All right.
You were on crack when you did that.
I don't know why I wrote this. I don't know why I wrote this one either. Michael Bay versus Mick G.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, I think that's a good pairing, though. Michael Bay, The Rock, Armageddon.
And they legit both have movies that I both actually enjoy.
Yeah. The Bad Boys movies for Michael Bay, Transformers,
but I do like
Pain and Gain.
I do like the fact that you went with music video directors turn film directors with this one.
Yeah, and then we get, of course, everybody's favorite, Mick G, Charlie's Angels, Terminator Salvation, We Are Marshall,
Smash Mouth.
a ton of Smash Mouth music videos.
Terminator Salvation.
Yeah, Terminator Salvation, The Babysitter, Rim of the World, and 3 Days to Kill. These are some of those on their list. So Michael Bay versus Mick G.
Wow.
Michael Bay did destroy my childhood with those Transformers movies.
You would never have those. Your childhood would not be ruined anymore if you would have erased Michael Bay.
That's very true. I'm totally behind getting rid of Michael Bay.
But then I lose my Bad Boys movies.
Is that such a bad...
Someone else can make those, though.
Yeah, but who's going to take a Humvee down the side of a mountain and destroy a bunch of housing through with Bad Boys 2?
Have you seen a Fast and the Furious movie lately?
I have, in fact. I went all nerd on that one.
It's like,
Yeah. Actually, just for the sake of argument, because I actually really enjoy this movie, and you're not wrong about Transformers, I'm probably going to go with Mick G because I actually really enjoy We Are Marshall. I think it's a very standout. For as bad shit as Salvation gets, it's one of the better not James Cameron Terminators. I didn't think Charlie's Angels was all that bad. I mean, look what your source material is.
So you're going with
Get
rid of Michael Bay?
I'll go with Mick G. Who cares if he's got 2 movies in the Criterion collection?
I think The Rock is far superior to either one's filmography, like, put together. But, yeah, we have to get rid of Michael Bay because he's Michael Bay.
There should not be
You
a thing
literally
called
just
Bayformers.
basically sort of indirectly just shot down Nick Cage, your hero.
I know. No, we still get Nick Cage. There's
Nope.
other Nick Cage movies better than The Rock. All right, so let's go 80s here. John Hughes versus Joe Dante.
Ooh.
So John Hughes, Breakfast Club, Ferris Bueller's Day Off,
Weird Science.
Weird Science, 16 Candles. And then we got, of course, Joe Dante, Gremlins, Gremlins 2, a favorite of mine, Small Soldiers. I love Small Soldiers.
Don't reference that movie. That makes me sad every time I hear Small Soldiers.
Piranha, The Howling. He was also directed one of the segments in the Twilight Zone movie.
Doesn't count.
It counts. And, of course, The Burbs. So John Hughes versus Joe Dante. This is a tough one.
John Hughes. I can't believe I'm saying it, but John Hughes. For as many Joe Dante movies I absolutely love, I would lose Weird Science and Ferris Bueller's Day Off specifically. I need those movies because those are amazing. You wouldn't have all the wonderful movies that are Anthony Michael Hall. You just need John Hughes. You just weren't born in the right decade to appreciate John Hughes movies.
It's like there's way too many important movies in John Hughes. Mm-hmm. Like that's just the 80s.
There's a reason why there was a documentary made about John Hughes.
Yeah, I'm going John Hughes.
Wow, I'm surprised the young one.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off is one of my top 20 movies of all time. Yeah, I can't live without that. And I mean, you have classic comedies that like were a part of my childhood and still hold up to this day. The Breakfast Club is it's of course one of the best teenage movies of all time. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Uncle Buck. Like we wouldn't really have some of John Candy's most important performances because if we get rid of John Hughes movies.
And I'm looking at this and I see the last thing he did before he kind of went into retirement was Curly Sue. And even Curly Sue is I really like Curly Sue.
Yeah, it pains me though. I love Joe Dante movies. I think he is one of the best who balances horror and comedy together. But yeah, I can't live without Ferris Bueller.
No, John Hughes. He basically helped define, teen movies in the 80s, and I think we would be in a different time of film if John Hughes never existed.
Yeah, I think he's one of a kind that we never had before or that we've seen since. So yeah, we have to keep John Hughes. Last one here. I laughed at this one already because this could split the table again. Sam Raimi versus James Gunn.
Son of a
Shit.
bitch.
Sam Raimi, the Evil Dead trilogy, Army of Darkness, Darkman, the Spider-Man trilogy, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man trilogy, Oz, Drag Me to Hell. James Gunn, we get Slither, Guardians of the Galaxy, Super. Am I missing anything from James Gunn? I don't know.
Well, all I know is that with the exception of Guardians 2, every movie that Michael Rooker was in that James Gunn directed, he gets killed off in.
Of course.
Or Guardians 1.
Yeah, I think I got them all. Sweet.
Is
So yeah, Slither, Super, and the Guardians movies.
It will pain me to say this. It will very much pain me to say this. I would have to go with Raimi over James Gunn. Mainly just for the amount of content that he has made that is, I not 100% back behind like the Evil Dead stuff, but like especially Darkman and some of the other things that Raimi has produced and whatnot. There's just there's not enough gun content out there for me to be swayed against Raimi.
You know what? I'm gonna be that guy. I'm gonna go with James Gunn. Honestly, the Guardians movies are fantastic.
Oh, I cannot disagree with it.
But I mean, what else did Gunn have on there again?
Slither and Super.
Slither, Super, Guardians.
I mean,
Guardians movies are really good. I haven't seen the other ones.
Slither is great. Super is fun.
I mean, those first the first two Spider-Man movies are actually really good too. We don't talk about the third one.
I like the third one.
You're wrong.
Yeah,
but at least we know that was all studio more than Raimi.
Yeah.
Everyone who knows me knows what I'm going with.
Which is why I picked James Gunn.
So yeah, I'm going Sam Raimi. He's my favorite director of all time, and yeah,
And I actually
Can't
haven't
go.
seen,
I can put anyone up against him, and I will always pick Sam Raimi.
and I haven't seen a lot of Raimi's horror stuff at all. I pretty much
Watch it.
my introduction to him was Spider-Man.
Oh, mine was too, but
I just never went to the before.
I definitely recommend for a comic book movie that is not Spider-Man, watch Darkman.
That is the
Early Liam Neeson.
That's the one I'm
God.
missing in his filmography yet. Is Darkman.
Darkman is
I need to watch Darkman. I know. All right, so that was Schmuck's choice. Let us know your picks for those. But yeah, we're gonna jump into. We got about 10 more minutes here, and let's use that to talk about our 1-year anniversary and what we have going on.
What do we got going on?
Yeah, so what we got going on? Well, let's start off with where we are now as far as this podcast goes, Brian. Because yeah, we started this 1 year ago, ish, give or take a couple days. November 10th of 2018 was our first episode dropped, so we're close. But yeah, we started this because we said why not? We like talking about movies, and I think we talked about it in the first episode, but yeah, we both like watching movies, and we talked about them at work. We're like, why not put a couple microphones in front of us and talk some movies?
Because why not?
And since then, what's changed in the last year? I would say quite a bit.
We've upscaled from a basement to an apartment to a little office in your house. We're moving up in the world.
We're moving up. I would say this is pretty much a full-fledged studio office in here now.
I think
it's what it's used for.
I think we need some more work.
We got a lot. Yeah, it's a lot of horror, which is okay.
Of course, it's okay for you.
There's a Batman poster and a Star Wars poster. It all evens out. But yeah, we've been doing this for a year. We have added new members to the group. Within this first year, we have added, another podcast host in Blake Ginnathan, a couple writers, Andy Erickson, Jameson Feifel. We've had our buddy Andy Heller from Fat Dude Digs and Flicks. We're gonna mess up his name again because it's coming full circle now. And
Oh, Jesus.
no, Fat Dude Digs Chicks. That's coming soon.
No, I thought you were making a pun with the Full Circle because we've had work with Full Circle as well.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we've changed a lot. There's been a lot of fun.
We've had a lot of evolution in what we've from and what we've become, and imagine what this time next year will be like.
What do you see us doing in that year, Brian?
I don't know.
You don't know.
The world is our oyster, and upon which we just need to crack it open and take what is ours.
That was beautiful. I like that. I was just going to say life's a garden, dig it, but I think yours is more elegant.
I will never remember that. What did I say? I got to go back to the recording.
Good thing we have it on recording, Brian. I think our next big thing that we're going to be doing, we're going to keep doing this every week is our biggest thing, is that, we're going to pump out a new episode every week. We have different things we want to discuss, different games we want to play, different versions of Schmuck's Choice I want to do.
Well, let's get on it.
Yeah, we're going to do it. Introduce some more podcasts. We
got more podcasts coming?
We have more podcasts coming.
I think he needs to talk to me more.
Well, more podcasts, and we're going to keep doing this. We're going to keep doing interviews. We keep doing that. We have the Killer Countdown. That's a spin-off of this. If we want to do more spin-offs, we'll do it.
We'll do more spin-offs.
Yeah. But yeah, I love doing this every week. It's so much fun, and I can't wait to see what we do next.
Heck yeah.
And speaking of what we're doing next, we should talk about some of the stuff we're doing next.
What are we doing next?
Let's first bring up what we've been doing here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota for the last 3 months. These are what we call our Sioux Falls Film Community Meetups. The first 3 we did at Full Circle Book Co-op in downtown Sioux Falls. Those are a lot of fun to do, and we just get a bunch of movie geeks around a bunch of tables, and we talk about movies. Pretty much what we're doing here without microphones.
Maybe we need to bring microphones.
We could do that. I don't know. But we do have 2 more coming up to round off the year. We have our November meetup, which is November 20th. This time we'll be at Severance Brewing here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, just downtown. We had to change it up. Full Circle was booked, which is cool for them. I think that's awesome. And we'll just move it for the next 2 months, and we'll hop back and forth between Full Circle and pretty much whoever else will take us. So that's November 20th from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. at Severance Brewing. We also are going to do one in December 18th, also at Severance Brewing from 8 to 10 p.m. Yeah, and for the November one, we're pretty much opening it up to the floor. Bring whatever questions you have to ask other movie fans. Do you have a burning hot take? Do I need to take Spider-Man 3 as a good movie to the table? I don't know. I'm a little scared to.
You can't take that. It's not a good movie.
I'm going to take the Raimi Spider-Man trilogy is the best comic book trilogy ever. I'm going to take that to the table. I'm going to take it to the table.
That one's going to be tough to argue if you just group them all together. They kind of average out.
If I take 100% and a 0% and a 70%...
Is that some Scott Steiner math there or what?
Yeah.
But yeah, we have those coming up. December will be a Christmas-themed one. Of course, because it's December. You have to do it. So we'll talk about our favorite Christmas movies. We gushed about them last year a couple times, our favorite Christmas movies. And we want to sit around. I want to find some new Christmas movies to watch this year.
And the Apocalypse.
That I need to watch that one. That is true. But we also have something major happening. Major. This is happening January 26, 2020. We're going to ring in the new year by counting down the 20 best films of the last decade. The 20 best movies from 2010 to 2019. And you know what? We're going to do it live.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. This could be scary. We're going to be doing this show live from Last Stop Studios here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Last Stop Studios is in Last Stop CD Shop on East 10th Street here in Sioux Falls. And they are gracious to partner with us on this event. And this is going to be a fun show. It's going to be a free show for the public to come out to. We will be doing a free will donation to a charity that we have yet to announce, but we will announce very soon. And we are also going to be having a few guests on that show. Who do we got coming on with us, Brian?
I don't know. You're the one making it. I'm just kidding.
I need to drink some water. That's why I threw it off to you.
Well, if memory serves me correctly, because there's, 5 of us coming on here. If I remember correctly, is Andy coming on?
Andy from Fat Dude Digs Flicks will be on.
Is Corey coming back?
Corey Jacobson from Somewhat Random Movie Collection will also be there.
And I assume Blake.
You assume correctly.
Wow, I got all 5 of us.
Yes. Blake Ginnathan, our own backlot Schmuck, will be there.
Schmuck.
And as well as Brian and myself, we will be there. We are going to be doing a 5-man panel. Each person gets 4 picks in the top 20. And also, each person will get 2 special power-ups, we call them. They are different things that they can use on different players to help shape the game in which they want it to be. And yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of audience participation. We want you to cheer. We want you to boo. We want you to help us out with where to place these movies as well. So we hope to see you all there. Once again, that will be our live show January 26, 2020 at Last Stop Studios from 3 to 5 p.m. Event is free for the public. Whoop, whoop.
Yes.
Yeah, so, that's going to round it off. Brian, do you have any other final thoughts on that?
No, I just think it's going to be fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm just going to make sure I can show up.
All right. Well, you better show up. Well, otherwise we'll have a hologram of you.
Sweet. I want the hologram to be like the hologram from Jane Silent Bob Reboot with Chris Hemsworth.
Why not? All right, let's round off this episode here. You can check out the latest episode of the Killer Countdown, in which me and Blake count down the top 8 horror comedies of all time. We mentioned a few of them on this episode. Will they make the list? You'll have to listen to that episode to find out. Check out our movie friends Andy from Fat Dude Digs Flicks and Corey from Somewhat Random Movie Collection. Find Corey on Instagram and Andy on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Follow our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcast, and YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and join the Sioux Falls Film Community Group on Facebook. Yeah. Is that it?
You didn't even notice the fact that you're making comment the fact you didn't change the name of the group.
Oh, I did change the name. South Dakota Film Community Group. Sorry, I even changed it in my notes. It was just stuck in my head that it's Sioux Falls. Yeah, we changed the name to South Dakota Film Community Group. We're going to open it up to the entire state, not just South Dakota, because we could.
Because we can.
And then follow us on backlot605.com. You can find all our latest movie news, reviews, discussions, all that there. And then next week we are going to be talking about TV shows adapted into movies, I guess in honor of Charlie's Angels reboot?
Hey, why not?
Why not? It needs to get some love.
That's a good enough reason for it.
Hey, you know what? Again, it's Charlie's Angels. It's not like you're going to expect the world. And who knows, maybe it will turn out better than the first ones.
And yeah, we'll talk.
Maybe they'll have less Bosley than the trailers do.
It needs more McG.
Well, we don't get McG
We
this
don't
time.
get McG. Yeah, we're going to be talking about TV shows adapted into movies. Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a guest on that. And yeah, until next time, this has been the Backlot 605 podcast. Brian, do you have any other final thoughts? Okay.
Sam Raimi for the win.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good final thought.
I got nothing.
That's good. Tyler, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We will argue Spider-Man sometime.
Oh, we will.
Let's do it. All right, thank you all once again for listening, and we'll see you next time on the Backlot of South Dakota.